Right.
All right.
Mhm.
Hey
Nice
guys.
little group.
Welcome. We have the event today, Skillshare, and we will talk about how to get your first 3 clients in 30 days.
Mhm.
I hope it will work out.
Yeah.
You never know. I want to talk to you about the events we have for this week still. Today we have Transformation Tuesday still. I'm really proud of that. You guys should come. It's a cool thing. It's kind of life coaching. And it's about how to design a life you love. I think we all need that, so come at 3 o'clock, okay? And we still have the filter today at 5, I think, about Bitcoins if you're interested. I don't really
Yay.
get it, but it's like
Come
upstairs.
along. It's awesome.
Yeah, you guys should come. There are like
Yeah, you
so
should
many
definitely
people
come.
coming. Oh yeah. Hi. Whoa, thank you. She's my neighbor.
Mhm.
And then tomorrow we have Think Tank. That's you, and he is the second winner of Startup Weekend. So you guys should come.
I actually have to pitch longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, so you guys should come. And then we have Bali Bunkus about 6 common WordPress mistakes you should avoid. And on Friday we all eat together if you guys want to join for lunch. And there you get to know each other, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay, this is it, and I hope you have fun, yeah?
Thank you. Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for showing up. So the title of this talk is how to get your first 3 clients in the next 30 days. So this is perfect if you're just starting out, if you have no clients, and this will save you a lot of time and money. It'll shave months or years of your ramp up time to get clients. Or if you've already in business and you have clients, this will help you get your next high paying clients. So just a little bit about like how I came to this is that I've been a practitioner for about 20 years, a health practitioner. I was a hello worker, and I also was running a yoga studio. And I had 4 kids, and then I separated from my kid's father, and I ended up working full-time in my business as a practitioner, and I realized that I could not actually sustain it for the income that I needed on the one-on-one basis. And then as the kids got a little bit older, I started to feel like, I want to be more location independent. I don't want to be tied down to the schedule so much. And so I started going about saying, okay, the answer is to get online, have my business online. And so I must have spent about 30,000 with a business coach trying to get my business online. And and out of that 30 grand, I probably came out with a really fancy website, a logo, some technical skills, but it didn't really bring me the clients. And and you sort of learn a lot about yourself along the way about what kind of business person you are. And I realize I am not one of those people that are really like hardworking, consistent. I'm much more of an intuitive initiator, and so I found that working this way was way more effective for me and much better way of leveraging my time. So anyway, let's get into it. So for me, the first step is making yourself irresistible. And so what do I mean by that? It's like the first step really is deciding who you'll work with and what problem you want to help them solve for the next 30 days. So part of the thing that kept me spinning my wheels and getting stuck in this, spending a lot of time and energy on things that actually didn't matter, or things that were not effective marketing tools yet, so that's like twiddling around with your website and or doing things that are marketing things that are too long and take too long before you get results. So that would be blogging, for example. So and also being a creative kind of person and with a lot of life experience, I realized I could cater to lots of different issues, Dyslexia was one of them. Dyslexia, you know, overcoming anxiety, recovering from divorce, setting up a business, you know, brick and mortar business, anything. There were many different fields I could have gone into. And so one of the things that kept me spinning my wheels was not being able to really pigeon myself into a niche. And I think that's the number one mistake. And when I got this into my head, it was so liberating. It was like a big relief. Oh my God, I do not have to figure out a niche. All I have to do is figure out who I want to work with and what problem I want to help solve for them in the next 30 days. That's it. And so, you know, that just takes away all that sort of pressure. So that is remembering, you're not looking for a niche, just the next step. So yeah, so don't get hung up on the niche when really you just need to make a decision and get some clients. That niche thing can have you wasting a ton of time. And also, you don't really know what your clients need, or maybe necessarily what niche is really the right one for you, until you've got some skin in the game and you're really in there working with people. And then you will modify it. You cannot figure it out in your head what niche you want to go into. So the simple thing is to answer these 3 magic client finding questions. Who are your clients? So basically, who do you want to work with? What would be your favorite kind of client, you know? This is like you can design this completely how you want. What's the outcome or the result that you want to provide? And when it comes to investing in themselves, what is their mindset? So you might have those first 2 things figured out, and then you might find that actually that kind of group of people or people with that problem are not willing to invest in it, getting it solved. So, so just hang on. Oh yeah, okay. So just as an example, some of the things, proven things that people will invest in to get solved, you can say it's got to be a problem that they're aware of. It's got to be a problem that's top of their mind. And you know, and as we know, your process or whatever you work with, you might know what they need, and you might know what their problem is, but it has to be their problem, like how they would articulate it, and what they're aware of. So sometimes what people think they need is different from what you know. You might have the solution, but you can't actually say it the way that. It's sounding a bit confusing. Okay, don't want to confuse you. Basically, these are just a few examples. There's a ton more of urgent gateway problems that people will pay good money to get solved. And these are some of the golden results. So they've got to be aware of the problem, and they need to be aware of the result that they want. Maybe they can't articulate it, but this would be for you to articulate what the golden results would be. So yeah, it's really it's really critical that you find that you've got to find the words that people relate to. So that's just some examples. And then sorry, I'll just go back there. So I don't want to speed. I've got so much I want to share with you, and I'm afraid I'll rush through it because I don't want to run out of time and not be able to cover everything. Yes, I will, yeah. So if at the end, if you leave me your name and your email really clearly so I can read it. I've had that so many times that people leave their email and then it's like, oh, don't know what, you know, and then it doesn't work because they can't read it. Yes, and I will send you all the notes from this. Plus, I'll send you some extra things, because what I'm coming around to is, I'll cover the basics here, but then I want to give you real things that you can work with and things that I felt moved the dial the most for me, and that was scripts. You know, fill in the blanks. So, so you're going to combine the problem and the solution with your unique solution. I could say the the gateway problem with the golden result and your ideal solution. So your ideal solution might be provided by any one of these things, that you have shared values with people, could be your experience, the speed of your process, the effectiveness, the ease of your process. Oh, this is the easy, like the 7 easy steps to whatever, or just your personal style, safety. Yeah, for some people that's a concern, shared life circumstances and cost effectiveness.
What do you mean by safety?
Well, safety, it might be something like how to safely invest for your future. Like you might have a strategy that you feel it really saves people from unnecessary risk or exposure.
Right.
It's like security.
Yeah, something, like that. It's not big on because of my field. It's not a big thing on me, but I throw it in there because depending on what your process is and what you want to help people with, it might be an issue for you. So when it comes to your unique solution, I haven't put anything in here about your credibility yet, but your credibility is another piece in this puzzle. And your credibility is brought about by you might have it might be your career, it might be your life circumstances, it could be things that you've overcome in your own life. And I find those kind of things are very, very effective. I often want to save new coaches and healers and people in that kind of, and artists and people in that kind of sphere from getting hung up on this lack of self-worth and this feeling that, because I don't have X qualifications in this thing, then I can't be, who am I to be doing that? But if you take the example of weight loss, that's a really excellent example. You could be a skinny dietitian with lots of certificates, or you could be someone who's actually managed to lose 40 pounds and keep it off for 12 years naturally. So, who would you rather learn, trust to lose weight with? So I just encourage people not to get too, to hunt around for what your thing is. So, so that's the first thing, is deciding on the who and the what. Who you want to help and what problem you want to help them overcome. And the second thing is to create high value programs instead of selling your time for money. So, people really love programs and processes because it gives them, that's a feeling of safety and structure and flow. And with a program, it can have a much higher perceived value because what you're selling is the outcome. You're not selling your time, you're selling the outcome. And people pay for outcomes. They don't pay for processes. They don't actually give a rat's ass about what process you use. You could have the most amazing modalities that you work with, but people don't care about that. They care about the result. So don't use, this is a little tip, don't use process kind of words in your titles. Like that would be something like lose weight with NLP, something like that. You wouldn't. It's not a good title. So then you think, what's your unique system going to be? This is a real fun part. Hey, I love this part. Like if you're creative, you'll really enjoy this part. It's so much fun because you actually get to think. Okay, these people are on Pain Island. These are all their pains around whatever the problem is. And you want to take them to Pleasure Island. That's the golden result. Now you've got to take them on a journey from there to there. And so what steps would be required? What processes, what things do they need to learn? What are the essential things or the things that speed up that process? The things that make that more effective or easier? to go from Pain Island to Pleasure Island. And those become the steps of your program. So, yeah, there's some examples, you know, how to charge what you're worth and get it. That's a great title. So it really spells it out. Yeah, and you'll see tons of examples of this in the personal development field. So that would be, so part of this, creating a high value program, is outlining your stages. That would be those steps to go from Pain Island to Pleasure Island. And something I do with that is I will map out the steps, and really you don't want to have more than 7 steps. You don't want to have Humpty steps, you know. This has got to look quite concise, not too hard, quite doable. 7, I would have anything from 3, 5 or 7 steps. And so then what I do is I get a big sheet of paper, I get sticky notes, the things, and then I map out the sessions, I map out the stages or the processes, and I write each one on a sticky note, and I stick it on the piece of paper in what I think would be a logical, journey. And then I basically imagine myself going through that, you know, because there's a real art to setting up a journey for someone. But at the same time, so this is what I do to map it out. So that mapping out process gives me confidence, and it helps me to, you know, oh yeah, I'll put in this, oh that would be an awesome process there, that's going to be the most effective process for that. But you don't need to get, see the thing is you don't want to get stuck by trying to make anything perfect or having it ready. It doesn't matter if it's ready or you feel that it's ready, because mostly it won't feel like it's ready. It can't be ready until you've been through umpteen processes like that with different clients. So don't let that put you off. I mean, that was another area that I spent years going around in. And so what I say to people now is map out your steps so you've got an idea about the processes. All as you really have to have worked out is the first step. And then you only need to be one step ahead of the client. You know, you might start working with someone in that first step, and then you realize actually they're in this slightly different position. I need to tweak this next step to cater for them. And so, yeah, it's something you can do, free flowing for sure. And then start serving practice clients. You know, if you're not, I don't know how many people here are practitioners, or like how many people are looking to get clients or already have clients, you know. Who here has no clients or has not got, yeah. Yeah. And others have clients already, used to working with people, yeah. So yeah, if you've already got clients, if you've already got clients and you're doing one-on-one things, you start to actually, the best thing is to start interviewing them and find out really what their top of mind problem is, and then develop something that answers that solves that, helps them solve that problem. So then you want to come up with a name for your program, and it's a hot result name. Like, you know, it's got to be really obvious to people. It's got to make them go, oh yeah, there's like a hooky thing. And package and price your process. So that's a kind of, you know, that's another whole field, but I would say so just to keep this really simple and doable, because that's the whole point of this talk, was really to not get you bogged down with feeling like you've got to do too many things. There's very few decisions you need to make. One of them is who you want to work with and what problem you want to solve. Package and price your program. So, you know, keep it really simple. It depends. If you don't have materials that you have for people, like you know, sometimes I use modules where I have like homework type things or processes. Say you want to set up a VIP day, so a half a day where they work with you, and maybe you want to have 2 or 3 follow-up sessions, so they feel supported to get the result. It's all about the result. And then you just price that package. Like that could be a $500 package. In this process, because of this process, I'm aiming at premium programs. So that means nothing is under $9.99. But you know, to get started, if you're not, this would be a tip for people who are not really used to working with too many clients. You know, VIP days, or packaging up your offering with a few extra things, or you know. Okay, so here's a thing of program title templates, just to give you an idea of what hot titles look like. So you can see in there, there's nothing about anybody's process. You know? Like, if you're taking people from Pain Island to Pleasure Island, the boat, which is your process that takes them from one to the other, that's the process. You don't need to go into that. And yeah, I'll send you these. So then the third part of this little recipe, and this I think is this was the gold for me. This was when things really started coming together for me, and creating a breakthrough session offer. So to get clients, you must do one thing, and that's get in conversations with them and not hide behind your computer. And you know, initially I was like, oh, I'm actually a bit more of an introvert than an extrovert, and I, you know, was fine offering things to my clients, but branching out, I didn't want to go to networking things, and I just didn't want to do those kind of things. But when I came up with so I went through this process. I came up with a name for my breakthrough session. It's got to be, you know, this is directly related to the result they want. So the one I use at the moment, because I work a lot in the health field, and I have a program called Vibrant Energy Blueprint. That's my program. The name of my breakthrough session is Vibrant Energy Breakthrough Session. So you name your session, which will be in relation to your program, and then you position your content. So that's going to be things like, you need to, like, you get this spiel off, you know. It's a special session, especially for who type of client you want, that want X result. And you'll get clear on where you are now and what's standing in your way. And along the way, I'll share some powerful tips or strategies to get X result. So it's just that will make your that'll make you, if you just spend a bit of time working with that will get you really clear on, you know, if you've got clear on who you want to work with, what problem you want to solve in the next 30 days, this is targeted directly to them. You'll figure out what their pain points are, what the result is that they want, and then you use those words in there. So once you've got your breakthrough session idea, hang on. So finding your ideal clients. I always like start with people that are on your low-hanging fruit list, I call that. So it's people that you already know. It could be current or past clients. Ask for connections to people they know. Friends or colleagues who could refer. Mostly what I use for when I'm ready to put out an offering like that, I'll put it out to my list first, and then I ask them to refer to their friends or pass on, and I'll also, one of the most powerful ways is not joint venture partners, more like more like affiliate partnerships. They might be colleagues that are in the same space as me, not exactly, but they're in the health space and they've got similar clients to me. Then I would ask them if they would, you know, mention that I'm, you know, put me forward in an email that I'm offering this free session, a free 30-minute session for people who've got X problem who want this result. And so referrals is a really big one. And referrals is an easy one because they're usually people that you know, or well, I would start with the easy ones, which is people that you know. But you can easily branch out. Once you've got this script nailed, you can easily branch out to people that you have never met before, but they are in a complementary profession. Another thing is I use a lot workshops, conferences, and fairs. I do, you know, mind, body, spirit fairs sometimes, you know, depends. Depends if I think how useful it's going to be to me. Yeah, and getting connected to referral partners. And just doing what you love to do. So if you'll meet people just doing what you love to do, you know. So then you can just share what you're offering. So in a way, you're not selling. What I love about this, and what I thought made this changed everything for me, was I'm not selling my packages. I'm not selling my program. I'm only selling my breakthrough session, which is a free session. So it's an offering. I'm offering value to people, and it really is a valuable session. It's not just a selling session. I really do make connection with people. I really find out what their problem is and what they really want, and then, you know, in all honesty, I say to them if I can help them or not. If I can't, I might refer them to someone else, because I only want people that I really can make a difference for. Yeah, so this, you know, when you're offering just breakthrough sessions, especially if you don't like doing the salesy thing, which I just did not like doing anything salesy. So I found that suited me really, really well. And if you're going to go to the trouble also of doing breakthrough sessions, I usually spend 45 minutes with people on a breakthrough session. You're doing that for a premium program. You know, you're not going to do breakthrough sessions for programs that you're selling for $2.99. You know. And it's a great use of your time if you've got a premium program. And I would encourage everyone right from the get-go to do premium programs. You know? You don't need to start with, which, you know, there's one mindset in marketing that you start with a cheaper program and you bring more people into your funnel, and then you move those people into higher paying programs, and the number of people that moves into that becomes smaller. If you don't have a list, or much of a list, and you're just starting out, just forget about that. Go straight for a premium program. And that might be a stretch, because you have to sort of warm up to valuing what you have to offer. But I would say to anyone, start at a price that you feel a little bit scared by. So, you know, like I was saying, a game changer for me was having scripts, because I found it difficult, you know, finding the words. I wasn't used to using that language. I was used to dealing with people with their immediate problem and addressing it. I wasn't used to bunching it all together for one result. Like I treated people with many different problems, you know, all sorts of problems, from body pain to depression to anxiety to some business things. Yeah, I mean, problems with their kids. You know, if you work in a therapy field, you find there's many things that you end up covering. So I was not used to speaking this way. Yeah, so I found the script thing saved me a lot of time and gave me confidence, because I thought, right, I'm going to follow this. I thought, in spite, the attitude is, in spite of how I feel, in spite of how I think or feel, because that's just old programming and conditioning. And if you don't break out of that, and there's nothing like putting yourself out there in business to be the most effective personal growth course you could ever do, because you're going to come up against all your limiting beliefs and all your sort of self-worth and who am I and what have you, you know. So I would encourage you to take the attitude that you are not going to listen to any of that. You're not going to buy into any of it. You're just going to follow the script. And initially you'll feel weird, but but very quickly you'll bring your own voice. Your own voice will come in, and it will start to feel more natural to you. So this is a very simple way to, like, just to reach out to get people to refer to you, or so and you see that, like, having that script at that basic script about what you do, like who you work with and what problem you solve. It's just, and then asking for basically a referral or an introduction. And like another point about your breakthrough sessions is something that I see with healers and practitioners, artistic, creatives and what have you. They give away free sessions, and giving away a free session it never works. I tried that. I tried everything, Free sessions, forget it. You don't get business from free sessions. But this is, so I don't, I really think of this as a real value. I think of it as a real value, And I don't see it as a discount. I see it actually, it's like I'm rewarding clients in the potential thing of that. If they come on board with me, it is saving me a lot of money in marketing and my time, because I don't have to go through umpteen conversations to get more clients or marketing efforts. So that's how I view it. You just want to get your mindset in the thing. It's not a free session. You're not giving them the whole shebang. You're not solving their problem in this. You're identifying and you're helping. I always give them really, really useful strategies, so they get real value from it. But you can't, solve the whole problem in this one session. This is really at the end a session to figure out whether you're a good fit to work together. So, okay, this is presuming that you haven't done anything, you're just starting, and maybe you don't know, you're trying to determine what problem or who you want to work with and what problem you want to solve. Because that's a minefield in itself. I found that was, that took me. So if that's not immediately, because some of you might be practitioners and you're used to working with or you have a certain type of client and you know what their problem is, you know what they need help with, then that's easy, you're sorted. But if you don't, then this is really helpful to come up with how to, structure yourself. So the first thing is to look for clues in your own life experience. So that's what I was saying before. It could be challenges that you've overcome personally, any special training that you might have, career success, any particular leadership strength, and any accomplishments. So this is like a whole big brain dump, This would be something you just do. You just get everything out, just like spaghetti on the wall, You're not trying to figure anything out. You're just going to get all that out. Because when you get everything out and you start to move through this process, something will start to pop out for you. So the next thing is identifying your core skills. What are you great at? And what you're great at could be different from what you're doing as a job. You might be great at kite surfing and you've got a job as an accountant, So it's great. Like, this is really freeing. So, and what do you love doing? and you'll figure out what you love doing, because it'll be what you just naturally want to do and what you spend time in. What feels easy to you. And I think that's a real thing as well. You know, when you're faced with lots of decisions and you've got lots of possibilities, I think often the answer is the thing that's right in front of you, the thing that's the easiest. And quite often we overlook the thing that's easiest. But anyway, that's another factor. And what qualities helped you succeed in previous careers or experiences? And, you know, and what special knowledge, skills have you gained from your life experiences? That's like, as I was saying, you know, things like overcoming anxiety or recovering from addiction, recovering from a broken heart, like anything, you know, dealing with infertility. Yeah, there's many things that your life experience is super valuable in. And find where your core skills are needed. Who would want your help? And who will pay good money for your help? I'm just thinking of like I'm just thinking like I have a client, and she's a real estate agent. She initially came to me because of through a program that suited her for overcoming anxiety and this sort of thing. And but then as we've gone along together, business stuff has come up, because she's this real estate agent and she's really struggling with how to get listings, and she's feeling like she's having to be very competitive in this kind of old boys kind of situation, and it's not really working for her. And so I just could help her to like look at her situation from this point of view. You know, who do you want to work with? What problem do you want to solve? She wants to get more listings. So, you know, like you could be looking at people who are wanting to sell their house but get the most that they could for it, which of course is what everyone wants. But not go out door knocking. That's what she was doing, going out door knocking, and it was just exhausting her and being very, you know, futile. I said, why don't you set up a workshop? Why don't you do a seminar and you speak to all these pain points? You give people this kind of value of what you could do. I'm actually modeling for you the system, you know. It's a workshop. And so I was saying the same thing to her, and that she could be doing that in a way that's way more unique to her personality, to her skills. Yeah, so aligning with your divine purpose and passion. That really, to me, in a nutshell, is doing what you really want to do. Giving yourself permission to do what you feel like doing. To do, you know, like who do you love working with? So when I put myself through this, it actually eliminated a few clients, eliminated a few types of people that I don't want to work with them. And I got really clear about the kind of client I wanted to work with. And then it's so much more fun. It's so much more exciting. You want to think this can be easy, this can be fun. You know, you're good and sort of create this all on your own terms, you know, and get out of this thing that you have to. I spend a lot of time, this is another pitfall, I'd say, a mistake I made, a lot of time trying to position myself as an expert in the field, like branding yourself, which is kind of just another marketing kind of strategy. It just didn't work for me, and you know, you forget about that, you just think, no, who do I really want to work with? Where are you passionate about making change? That's another thing. What transformation? Because when you take someone through a program or a package, what you're selling them is the transformation that they really want, and they don't know how to get it. They might have tried many things. It's a real pain point for them. And you might be more passionate about certain transformations that you want to help people with. And what motivates you to help more people? No. These are just some questions that will help bring out what's really authentic to you. Yeah, what you're born for. That's just another way of saying what you love doing and what's easy. And trusting your intuition. Sometimes this is really radically, different. I've got to tell you this awesome story. I don't want to run out of time, but I've got to tell you that I met this woman. I was doing training at the Dao Garden with Master Mantachi in Thailand, and I met this woman there, and we were just chatting, and I asked her what she did, and she told me she was an uncertainty specialist. And I'm like, I just kind of laughed and went, oh yeah, aren't we all? No one knows what the hell they're doing. And she goes, no, seriously, I'm an uncertainty specialist. And she said, I work with people in the financial markets who've lost their decision-making capability. And she was telling me that she had 2 PhDs. She was super bright, and one was in the financial something or other, and one was in psychology. But at the time, she said she was living at her brother's. She had run out of money, but she had some friends who were branding specialists for Microsoft. And they basically looked at her situation, her skills and her sort of things. And they were the ones that came up with, no, this is what you do. So she works with high performance stockbrokers in the financial markets who've lost their mojo. They've kind of gone off the, they're losing money because they're losing their ability to make the decisions that are bringing them the winning stocks. And so she targeted it to them because it's a high pain point. It's they're willing to pay for a solution to that. I thought it was genius. And it was genius, and then what happened was she had a what happened? Yeah, she told me she got an offer she did a job for a bank in Brazil. She was Brazilian, but she lived in New York. She did a job for this bank in Brazil. She got a testimonial from them. And then she had a high-performing stockbroker friend who just wrote her a testimonial. He'd never actually done her process. And then with these 2 sort of referrals, she went on to she just had a handful of clients, I think less than 5. They were super high-paying clients, and that's all that she just traveled around the world, did what she liked, worked about 1 hour a day, if that, on a phone call to her clients. And I was just going to say that because just before she had that help from these branding friends, she was about to put an ad in the newspaper about, are you struggling with decision making? Should you stay in your career? Should you leave your relationship? Should you buy a new house? Call me, I can help you. So, she just bypassed any of that small funnel stuff, straight to the top end. Don't know why I was saying that. Got them probably a bit off. Yeah, anyway, you could say that she figured out all these, the ideal client, the gateway problem, the unique solution. Because with her skill set, so she could talk to them in their language, but she also had spent a lot of time studying the human design system. So she used to use that to actually personally. So these clients she helped not only in business but in their personal lives as well. And so that kind of matched up with her credibility. But I thought it was really exciting because you can see how creative you can get with this. And so that's just like another little thing down the bottom. I help, show, teach, coach, mentor. Like she had that pitch down pat when she told me what she did. This is for online positioning, but you could say it's the same thing. You're coming up with your ideal client. You've got your gateway problem established, your unique solution, your golden result, and marrying that together with your credibility. This is your positioning. So how to get your first 3 clients. action guide. Okay, you've got to design and price your first program. And honestly, don't get hung up on this. You could do this in an afternoon. Because remember, you don't have to have all the nuts and bolts sorted. You don't have to have it all perfect. You just need an outline of those 3 to 7 steps where you're going to take them from Pain Island to Pleasure Island. This is how we're going to go. You know, and just as an example, that might be like I do with my program at the moment that I run, Vibrant Energy Blueprint. It's an 8-week program. I give them modules, but I give them I think it's about 4 modules, and then they get 4 hours of time with me. So I send them weekly things, but I let them schedule their time. I encourage them for the first 4 weeks to at least do once a week with me. But that's 4 hours, so they get 4 hours in their 8-week module. I let them schedule that in half-hour slots if they just want a bit of like coaching, or if they want a deeper session, then they do an hour thing. So it's got, you know, flexibility. But that's just one way you could do a package. If you don't want to get stalled by creating written material, because that can be a big rabbit hole, where especially if you're a perfectionist, then you're never going to be, you know, you'll be tweaking that forever and paying a fortune for design and all sorts of unnecessary things. So you could just, yeah, like I say, do the VIP thing, or just do a package of sessions with you if you're a coach or thing, with the result in mind, and then you give them some bonuses. You know, you add value to it. So you've got to stretch right out of your hourly. You're just not even thinking about that in an hourly rate. Like for this kind of program, you want to be aiming at selling your first program at $9.99. Another thing, just if you want to, another possibility, and something I think is also a fun thing to do, depending on where you are in your business, you can create like a pilot program. You might want to test out a program. This is an awesome way to get paid, to get the clarity around your program. So you can offer a pilot program. It might be 4 weeks where you have maybe a group session, a group call, or and you have a result that you're looking for, that you're selling them. But in this pilot program, you'll really, really once you start working with people, you really get clear feedback about what is working and what isn't. And there's no way to do that without just jumping in and doing it, And if you just take the attitude that you're really there to serve them, then you'll find ways that you can do it. But you need to do it in relation with them. You cannot figure it out without engaging with the client. So then okay, it's you designing your package. Don't get hung up on it. Make it simple, and price it. Oh, that's why I got off track and was talking about the pilot program. If I was doing a pilot program where I was going to offer, say, 4 calls, group calls, and maybe a little bit of support, like something, then I would probably price that around like $3 or $4.97. Like there's price points that are really proven to be like, okay, up to $2.97. If someone will pay $1.97, they'll pay $2.97. So from $2.97, you're looking at $4.90, whatever it is, $4.99, $4.97. So usually if someone will pay $3.97, they'll pay $4.97. Those are the top, levels of those tiers. So then create your breakthrough session offer. So that was just that little script that I gave you, a script for how to say, this is my offer, basically saying, I've got this session that I'm offering to people. I'm offering to women, say midlife women or women who've just had a baby, who want to lose, who want to lose 10 kilos naturally and keep it off. That's you creating your breakthrough offer. And then you draft a personal reach out script. Yeah, that's basically the personal reach out script. So your breakthrough session offer is just, you know, where you come up with your breakthrough session name and what you're doing with it. And then invite 3 or more people on your low-hanging fruit list. So that could be, you know, friends, or just pick the ones that are easy, the ones that know you, the ones that eat. Well, sometimes depending on what you're doing, sometimes it's harder to offer things to friends because they don't necessarily value what you really have to offer. They don't always see your real skill. So, but people who are easy for you to, you know, reach out to. And I use a script for that. And then, I mean, this is what works for me, is free talks or seminars or anything like that. I find that's easy. So at the end, normally what I would do at the end of a seminar is I would say to people, thanks very much, I appreciate your time to come and learn. And I really want to give them some really good value. And I say, well, you know, because you can't get, you're always going to have some questions and some things that you'd like to know, you know, understand in a deeper way. So I'm offering a limited number of free, whatever it might be, my Vibrant Energy Breakthrough sessions. So fill out a form to apply. They always need to apply because they need to qualify. So fill out this application. If you'd like one of those sessions, fill out the application, and if you qualify, I will be in touch with you to schedule your session. So you're just looking for opportunities. You're really looking for as many opportunities as you can to offer your session. And yeah, have your first or your next transformational selling conversation. That's what I call it, because initially, I'll tell you, when I first did this, I had the script, and I'll give you this script. I'll give you this word for word script, because I found it so helpful for myself. So when I email you, I can also give you that. And it was a word for word, just fill in the blanks, whole conversation around this is what my actual breakthrough session was. And honestly, the first time I did it, I was just I'd filled in the blanks, and I literally read the script, trying to sound like I'm not reading, but glancing, and you know, and then getting in conversation, because there's within that script, I'm asking them things, I'm drawing out information from them. One point, they're talking to me, and I'm just looking at what I've got to say next on the script, and you know, and then at the end of the script, I'm making the offer for my program. And when you're not used to that, like selling at a high price point, that's quite a sticky thing too. So I no, I'm putting everything aside. I'm just going to do it. So I said, you know, you give them a like a fast action bonus, which is a really decent discount. So my first program, I offered it at $1,500. So you give the price, and then I sort of wait a second. You got to pause, be comfortable in the silence and the tension. And then I said, but I'm offering a fast action bonus for you making a decision on this in the next 24 hours. And my fast action bonus is $500. And then I pause. And I was just following it, because on the script it even says, pause, do not speak. So I just followed it word for word. And then when the person goes, yeah, great. You know, the success rate I've had with this script is unbelievable. My conversion rate is incredible. And the conversion rate of this model is very satisfying, because you're really, you're really having you're really connecting to people, and it's very fulfilling and very satisfying. And because you're selling programs at a high level as well, it's like totally worthwhile your time. And the other thing I'd like to say about the selling programs at a higher premium, I would really have to say, after working with clients, you know, one-on-one for so many years, if you get people to commit to a result and they pay for it, they are so much more committed to getting that result. They really are. And then that actually becomes, suddenly you are getting better results. You know, it's like a self-fulfilling thing because they are more committed. Yeah, so set up your 3 conversations in 2 weeks. You can even go through practice conversations with the script, you know, with a friend or with yourself, like I did. Yeah, and really celebrate your success, you know, just because every little thing is a success, really, because if you keep moving, you cannot fail at this. You cannot. The only way you can fail at this is by going into a little eddy, you know, where you get caught up in marketing FUD. Because we're sort of bombarded with so many different ways to skin a cat, you know, as far as marketing and getting clients and getting online and all this sort of thing. Just keep it really simple. Once you master this, because no matter what, you've got to master these selling conversations, and the more you do it, like I started to really look forward to them. I enjoy them. I really look forward to them because I'm totally unattached to the outcome. But I'm super present with the person. I'm really there. I'm really listening to see how I could help them, if it's going to work. It's satisfying if you like. I mean, I guess I've always been a client kind of focused, you know, in my business anyway. But this was super leveraged for me, and it's given me eventually the location independence, because I just can. I mean, I do my sessions wherever. You know, people in my program, and I use referral partners for my enrollments. But this is the way to super easy get off the ground. The next level, and where I'm now, is I have more of a funnel online, but it's still following the same model, in that I send them all my marketing efforts or traffic driving efforts are to send people to a page which is where I offer them a free breakthrough session, except now I do it on video, and then it's okay, there's your free breakthrough apply here for your free breakthrough session. They have to apply, so I get to qualify them, and then I schedule the one-on-one session, then I sell them into my program.
How long did it take you to get to a location independence?
Well, it took me years because of all this, you know, messing around. But this is why I felt inspired to offer this, because I really I've spent probably $60,000 on all sorts of marketing, you know, training and all sorts of, and now honestly, you could be location independent in no time at all. Just establish this, get this going, and once you put your mind to it, okay, referral partners. You know, you start, things will come to you, and you'll reach out. There's that you reach out with an email, and you say, hey, you know, you maybe there's someone you've been following their work, or it just depends how driven you are and how much you want that. Like it wouldn't take long. It doesn't take long. Don't let there be an obstacle, you know. You'll find ways. You're just looking for referrals. You're looking for, you know, if there's professional associations that you're involved with, or it really helps if I know a little bit about the background, your background, or where you can, you know, how you can reach out to people. So this, in a final note, I have no idea what the time is again, but
It's fine.
are we good? I'll just say, let yourself get clear. You know, it's really easy to think, oh no, I'm overwhelmed. It's like this, you know, where do I start? Instead, you take a breather, breathe in, breathe out. big breath. Just go, okay, what do I need to do right now? It's going to move the dial. And keep coming back. Those things I just gave you, those are the essentials. Forget about everything else. You can create websites and create a freebie and do all those other kind of things later. And this way, you'll really refine and you'll find the language and you'll be much better at creating a much more effective freebie. All those things you'll do much better later if you just stick to these things. Yeah, so notice your resistance. You know, like I really had resistance about doing the selling conversations. So, and a lot of people do, you know. Yeah, so just notice your resistance. Go, okay, it's just resistance. It's all right. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to follow the script. Choose abundance, you know, which means, you know, don't buy into people's things that they can't afford it. I mean, people will say that, but it's very rarely the reason. People say they can't afford it. It's usually you have not conveyed the value of your program. It's quite often the real reason. Well, that's something to look at for sure. And even if they say that, and it's, you know, there really is no way of getting past that. You just, it's fine. Doesn't matter. There's the next person. It's not. But if you're consistently getting that as an excuse, that they can't afford it, then I would seriously look at, like, there'll be something to do with the way you're conveying your value. They're not getting it. Yeah, so just take the pressure off yourself and go, no, there's tons of my ideal clients. Another good mindset thing is like, you know, I have everything I need right now to help my clients. You know? When you're a practitioner or you're in the healing field, or it's very easy to sort of feel like, oh, I need to do, you know, I'll do this extra training, I'll do this more. You get more and more certified and more highly trained. But actually, they you know, you don't want to put that in the way. Give yourself permission to succeed. Go, no, I can do this. And receive the mentoring if that's what you need. I mean, as I've gone along, I've sort of taken different trainings to help me fill the gaps. A gap I realized I had was in copywriting. So I have a mentor for copywriting because it's just not my forte. Yeah, and take consistent action before you feel ready. I would say that was the major obstacle for me, is that because I never felt ready, it was always an obstacle. And I think being a what do you call it, serial procrastinator. I'm like the world's biggest procrastinator. So, you know, I really had to battle that, and a perfectionist, especially when it comes to written stuff, you know. So you've got to just get over that. And just accept that you're never going to feel ready. Yep, look for the most obvious clues. I think sort of in a spiritual way, life is always giving us clues. Always, always. It's just, are you sensitive enough to see the clues? You know, and when you're in fear and scarcity or have any kind of desperation, you completely miss them. Because it sort of like becomes like a big shield, you know, that stops you seeing what's actually there. You know, things can come in such unexpected ways and unexpected avenues. So you want to stay really open and stay in a place of peace that, you know, the right thing will unfold for you. It's, don't feel like it's like let the game come to you in a way, you know. You're getting the ducks in a row for you. You're getting clear around what you would love to do, who you'd love to serve, what transformation excites you to take people through. And then you're relaxing about it. You're staying in a state of peace. So it's a completely different energy from striving to create a business or striving to get clients. You know, you're really believing that in these transformational selling conversations, I call them, you are really looking to see whether you can add value to that person. You're really looking to see whether what you can offer is coming from a place of love and really wanting to serve them for the highest good. It's like you come with that intention and you just forget about everything else. Yeah, so how can it be easy, That's a question that I put to myself many, many times. How can this be easy? Otherwise, I'm not a naturally structured person. I'm the most unstructured person. I'm much more of a free flow, intuitive, creative kind. So structure is really difficult for me. So I can go in all sorts of offshoots of things that make it difficult for me, instead of going, okay, what would be easy? How can this be easy? And easy might be just going, right, I'm just going to schedule, I am going to go to a network meeting, or I am going to go and hang out with this group because it's in my interest field. And believing in your intrinsic value. So this kind of model will really challenge you to believe in your intrinsic value and the value of what you have to offer. But believe me, the value will get drawn out of you. This is what I find. If you get hung up about having to get everything perfect before you're actually working with clients, you never do it. It'll just be a textbook kind of thing. It won't be authentic. Because what my experience of working with clients is, what happens is when you're really present with them, their problem, whatever arises, it somehow draws out an information from you that you would never have thought of. It's like just because you're fully present with them. You're not trying to solve anything, but you're really present. You're really listening to what they're saying, behind what they're saying. So more of an energetic, it's more of an approach to, I think, maybe interacting with people. But in my experience, what happens then is it brings out something that you would never have had access to. So it's a very live thing. So I'm just saying that because I'm trying to encourage you just to jump in and believe in your value. So because that's the value, something comes out that is hugely value and totally appropriate to that person that you, with your trainings, would maybe never have come up with. It's to do with your presence. Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you. Yeah. And here's your massive freedom. I think freedom is really one of my underlying values. One of my biggest values, freedom. Being financially free, emotionally free, just free to be who you are, do what you want, follow, just what feels right for you, and break out of any of that sort of conditioning that's just that, yeah, the other side of that. Yeah. So yeah.